We're all given weird nicknames as kids. Well, this serial killer went by the grocery bag killer. We're going to talk about Robert Lee Yates.
Ladies and gentlemen of all ages, boys and girls, thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of Angry Meat Production. We appreciate you coming in and letting us be a part of your lives week in and week out. We hope to do our best to present you with something that your eardrums delight in. Whether you're looking at us on YouTube or Rumble, or listening to us on Spotify, Google, or Anchor, or any of the other podcast services that we are currently on or trying to get on. We thank you. And if you don't mind, at the end of every episode, stop by, leave us a comment, leave us a like. If it asks for 5 stars, we'll take 5 stars, even if you don't like us. 5 stars are what it's all about. With that being said, we hope you enjoy our attempt to make our advocation our vocation. Ladies and gentlemen, let the games begin. We here at Angry Me Production want to thank our sponsor, Mobile Notary Mindy. She's certified with the National Notary Association. She's also bonded and E&O insured. She offers a wide range of services including wills, powers of attorney, medical documents, healthcare proxies, living wills, certification of trust, assignment of personal property, HIPAA waivers, advanced healthcare directives, and 99 verification. You can find her on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at Mobile Notary Mindy. You can also visit her webpage at texasmobilenotarymindy.com. That's TX, mobilenotarymindy.com. Thank you so much and enjoy the show.
Welcome, Angry Faithful. Yeah, today we're going to go and talk about Robert Lee Yates Jr. That's his full name. We're just going to call him Yates throughout this whole thing. But he was a serial killer in Spokane, Washington from 1975 to 1998. Now we're going to go in the details and everything of his life and the victims. Yates was born May 27th, 1952, growing up in Oak Harbor, Washington, in a middle-class family. They attended a local seven-day church. Before his birth, his grandmother had murdered his grandfather with an axe in 1945. I guess it runs in a family. But anyways, I digress. Yates graduated Oak Harbor High School in 1970. In 1975, he was hired by the Washington State Department of Corrections to work as a correctional officer in Washington State Penitentiary in Walla Walla. In October 1977, Yates enlisted into the U.S. Army, where he became certified to fly civilian transport airplanes and helicopters. Yates was stationed in various countries outside the continental United States, including Germany, later Somalia, and Haiti during the United Nations peacekeeping mission in 1990. Yates also served 3 years in the Army National Guard as a helicopter pilot from April 1997 to April 2000. He earned several commendations, several medals during his military career, including the United States Army Master Aviator Badge. Yates left active duty on April 1996, apparently a year and a half shortly became eligible for full retirement benefits and pension. But he left a year before some people do that. At this time, the military reducing its numbers. Okay. Yeah, that time frame, just to put it in a reference, there's a lot of people that actually did that. My neighbor actually did that. He was about 5 years away from retirement, and he got out early and started his life anew, I guess. Uh, but so he received his full retirement despite being short the customary 20 years served. Okay, yeah, they do that. He joined the Air National Guard in April 1997 and served 3 years until his arrest in April 2000. He served a total of 21.5 years in the military. He has five children, $4 and one son, with his second wife, Linda, whom he married in 1976. The children's birth years range from 1974 to 1989. Now, there is actually a YouTube video if you want to go check it out about how the daughters feel about their father being the shit pump that he was. Uh, and they did a documentary about it. It was actually pretty heartwarming that the children were devastated, and they talked to, at least from that video that I gathered, one of the victims' family, and it was really horrible to hear that the victim was getting better on her life. She was addicted to heroin, then she uh, became better, and then ended up dying at the hands of Yates. But I digress, and let us continue. Yates committed his first murder in 1975 when he shot and killed two college students who were picnicking. Many of the subsequent victims were sex workers working along the Sparga. Let's get this. Stephanie Hawking.
Sprague.
Sprague Avenue. East Sprague Avenue. Who most of them were substances abuse issues, like I already said. Yates would often use drugs to lure them in, and other sex workers. Yates initially solicited the victims after having sex with them, often in his Ford van. He would kill them, dump their bodies in a rural location. All of his victims died of a gunshot wound to the head or the heart. 8 of the murders were committed by a Raven .25 caliber handgun. And I'm curious of what it just puts me in Raven arms. Anyways, and one attempted murder was linked to the same model of handgun. On September 19th, 1998, Yates was asked to give a DNA sample to Spokane police after being stopped. He refused, stating that it was too extreme for a request for a family man. That's what, man, some people and their kids. Uh, Now, the first victims was Patrick Allen Oliver and Susan Patrick Savage. On July 14th, 1975, the bodies of Patrick Oliver, 21, and Patricia, God, they had mm, and Miss Savage, with 22, were found shot in the head near Walla Walla. They were last seen the day before and on their way from an afternoon swim and picnic. Stacy Elizabeth Hahn on December 28th, 1988. The partial skeleton of Stacy Hahn was discovered in near Big Lake. She was last seen on July 7th, 1988, in Seattle. Yates confessed to picking her up, who she was working as a sex worker, and he brought her into a nearby van. Sharon Ree Zelinsky. Let's get this. Stephanie Hawking.
Zelinsky.
I got it right. Yay, me. On June 14th, 1996, Sharon Zelinsky's 38 was found shot in the head in Meade. Her partially nude body was badly decomposed and dumped into the wooden area near a school bus stop. Zelinsky had a lengthy criminal record and worked as a sex worker. That is devastating. That hopefully some kid didn't find that body. But anyways, Heather Lewis Hernandez on August 26, 1997. The body of Heather Hernandez age 20, was found in an old growth lot in Spokane. She was shot five times. She was shot 5 days earlier, according to detectives. And Hernandez had only recently come to the area within a few weeks and was arrested twice for sex work. Now let's Sean Allen, Sean Ann McLean and Lauren Page Watson on December 26, 1997. The bodies of Sean McLean, 39, and Laura Watson, 31, were found in the gully of Spokane. Both women were shot twice in the head, and their heads were wrapped with 3 plastic bags on each. Hence, they got the grocery bag killer. Watson was last seen in November the 3rd, was the devoted mother of a 12-year-old son until relapsing with heroin, unveiling 6 years of sobriety. She began working as a sex worker to fund her substance abuse. McLean, also struggling with heroin, and was arrested earlier for forging bad checks during a binge. She had been missing since December 8th. Is it Shauna? No, it's Sean. McLean had a position for Winnie the Pooh and loved to attend auctions and yard sales. Auctions and yard sales. God. She had a passion for Winnie Pooh. Okay. Sorry. Words got jumbled up. McLean had a passion for Winnie Pooh and loved to attend auctions and yard sale. She would always one who would help the neighbors and would always really good giving. That's what her son Patrick McLean said. She married 4 times and had a son. Her sister, Kathy Lloyd, a teacher in Spokane, said an addiction. She was addicted to painkillers. Sean took an arm injury lead to heroin and the life of the streets. She had worked in the hospital labor, but she quit because of the injury. She told that I was really, truly worried about her safety, said Lloyd. She said, "Don't worry, I can take care of myself." I believed her. In early December 1997, Lloyd received a birthday card from her sister telling her how hard it was on the streets, but the card bore good news too. Sean had been accepted to a methadone program, and this is the person that cleaned herself up, and was determined to leave her life of drugs. Then Christmas arrived. Lloyd didn't hear from her sister. We did everything humanely possible to get Sean away from drugs. She said she also wasn't working on Spokane because she wanted to. Lauren Watts bred and trained Rottweilers. She was operating an adult family home and was licensed by the state. Now, another victim, Michelle Donning, on July 7th, 1998. She was found shot once in the head in Spokane. The 25 caliber bullet casing was still in her hair. She was found nude, partially obscured by a hot tub cover. Darling was the daughter of a Marine Corps colonel. She grew up in the military brat and graduated high school in Virginia, attending Parham College in California before moving nearby to San Diego to be executive secretary. She married and had a son, but drugs cost her her marriage. She lost custody of her son. She moved back to Spokane in 1997, working in various jobs from ranch hand to nursing assistant. At one point, she renewed a friendship with a computer instructor she had met in San Diego. He helped her find an apartment and befriended her, but later moved to Arizona. Now, last one, Colleen Lane Ellis LaFonte. On October 13th, 1998, the body of Colleen Ellis LaFonte, 35, was found in a ditch in Tacoma. She was shot once in the head, and 3 plastic bags were covered her head. She previously worked as a hairdresser in Spokane, but fell into drugs and sex work years after she moved. Following the death of her son, she was waiting for a heart transplant. Ellis and Chopana at Chapala. Man, she was.
Chippewa,
Oh, she was a Chippewa, and the eldest of 5 children. Ellis grew up in the Turtle Mountain Indian Reservation. Her mother moved to Spokane when Ellis was still in high school, and Ellis moved between family in Washington State and North Dakota. At age 17, she worked as a secretary for a tribal organization and became the mother of a daughter earlier in life and had abusive marriage. Of her 3 children, only her only her daughter Angela Angel survives. Ellis lost both her sons in childhood. One as a baby in the sudden infant death syndrome, SID. The other was had a heart condition and at age 11 in 1996 passed. Now, for his conviction, Yates was arrested in April 18th, 2000 for the murder of Jennifer Joseph. After his arrest, a search warrant was executed on a white 1977 Chevrolet Corvette that had been previously owned. A white Corvette had been identified as the vehicle in which one of the victims had been seen in. Coincidentally, Yates had pulled over in the vehicle while the task force was searching for it. But the field interview report was misread as saying Camaro, not Corvette. Thus, the incident was not realized until after Yates had been arrested. Good Lord. They misprint Camaro to Corvette, and that's how he got away for a little bit. Man. After searching the Corvette, police discovered blood on that linked to Jennifer Joseph and DNA from Yates that they tied to 12 other victims. In 2000, he was charged with 13 counts of first-degree murder. One account was attempted first-degree murder in Spokane County Superior Court. As part of his plea bargain, Yates confessed to the murders to avoid the death penalty. He was sentenced to 408 years in prison. Man, I would just get it over with. Just pop it. But anyways, I digress. Charges were dropped without prejudice in the murder of Sean McLean, so that if Yates appeared in other guilty sentences, he could be tried for her murder and possibly sentenced to death. Following his sentence hearing, Yates made a statement apologizing to the family and the victims that he had killed. In 2001, Yates was charged in Pierce County, Washington, with the murder of 2 additional women. The prosecution sought the death penalty for the death of Melaine Lee Mercer in 1997 and Courtney Ellis in 1998, which were thought to be linked to the killings in Spokane County. On September 19, 2002, Yates was convicted of those murders and subsequently sentenced to death by lethal injection on October 3rd, 2002. The 2002 death sentence was appealed on the grounds that Yates believes his 2000 plea bargain to be all-encompassing, and that the life sentence for the 13 victims and the death sentence for 2 consensual disappointed freaks and wanton random application of the death penalty. So he's trying to get out of the death penalty because he plea bargained for the 13 murders beforehand. The arguments were rejected in 2007 by Washington Supreme Court. A September 19, 2008 execution date was stayed by Chief Justice Gary L. Alexander, petitioning additional appeals. And 2013, Yates' attorney filed for habeas corpus, petitioning in a federal district court, stating that Yates is mentally ill, and though no fault of his own, suffered from severe Paraphilic disorder. What the hell is this? Let's figure out what this name is.
Paraphilic.
Paraphilic. Paraphilic is an experience of recurring and intense sexual arousal to attachment objects, places, situations, fantasies, behaviors, and individuals. It is also defined as a sexual interest in anything other than the legit legal consent human partner. Oh, so basically, sexual assault that predisposed him to commit murder. This still pending motion is regarded as a long shot by most observers. I don't think Mr. Yates helps his cause by relying on the fact that he is necrophiliac, said Pierce County prosecutor Mark Lindquist. Yates remains incarcerated in Washington State Penitentiary. His case was further complicated by Washington Governor Jay Inslee in 2013, declaring that he would not sign death warrants for anyone on death row while he is in office. Okay. NC Stephanie Hawking. Let me get his last name because it's
Inslee.
Cited the high cost of the appeals process, the randomness with which death sentences were sought, and the lack of evidence that the penalty served as a deterrent to other criminals. I could see that for the high cost of appeals, and yeah, some very rarely it's like 0.001% that lawfully imprisoned on the death penalty. But in July 2015, the Washington Supreme Court once again rejected an effort by Yates to overturn his conviction and death sentence. After Washington State Supreme Court ruled in 2018 that the death penalty violates the state constitution, Yates' death sentence, as well as that of Washington's other death row inmates, were commuted to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. Now, there is a laundry list of victims in here. That's the reason why I only went over a couple of them. But in all reality, man, I just on this one right here, I don't like the fact that he did all this stuff. And people like this, they don't realize how horrible they're ruining the lives of their family and friends and everything, and they're so selfish on that aspect. But anyways, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Goodbye.